Hey everybody, welcome to J Stern Designs. Today I'm really excited to show you my new pressing tool called Point Perfect, and I'm really excited about it because it's been a long time in the making. When I was shooting my class, The Perfectly Fitted Shirt for patternreview.com, I was working on my collar samples and I was using these traditional sort of bamboo point turners to get the points on my collars, and I wasn't really 100% happy with it because, you know, as I was working with it, I thought if it could be a little bit wider through, through here, it could support more of the pointed edge of the collar. I kind of played with shapes, and as you can see, I can lay this down like this, and you can see it's very similar to the shape of a collar. And so I sent some sketches to my dad, and he made me a prototype, and I played with it, and I loved it. But then I realized I didn't want to ask him to sit in his basement and make these things for me because he's retired and he plays golf and he does stuff with my mom, and I just didn't want it to become like a part-time job that he really wasn't interested in. So I kind of put this on the back shelf for a while. And then happily, this past March, I taught at Stitches United in Hartford, Connecticut, and Gail Yellen and I actually shared a booth, and right next to us was Dan Tracy Designs. Dan and his wife had a booth full of beautiful wooden tools that were handcrafted for knitters, weavers, and other fiber artists. And I was very impressed with, the things that he made. And so I mentioned the pressing tool to him, and we talked about it. And after I sent him some sketches, and he actually made me some samples, and we played with the design, and we actually collaborated on the ultimate shape, and we ended up with this. I think it's really pretty. All right, so if any of you are fiber artists in addition to sewer girls, here are some of the things that he had in his booth. He had these beautiful yarn bowls, knitting needles. I'm going to put a link to his website in the description of the video, so if you want to check out his stuff, you can go to his website. He's very talented, and I love them. So what I want to do now is show you how to use this Point Perfect tool. To start off with, you can see here I've got a collar that I've already sewn and trimmed. I have my facing, I've got my interfaced collar. When I was getting ready to shoot this video, I decided I was putting away some of my husband's shirts actually, and he had one that was really gross, and I cut apart the collar off of the shirt because I decided that way I could just throw it away. And the really cool thing I noticed, let me just show you. Inside the collar, okay, this is the collar, they actually glued down the edge of, just the long edge actually, of the collar. See that? So I'm going to test it for you live right now to see how that works. I'm kind of excited because I think it'll help even make a better point. But I will tell you, the more I use this Point Perfect tool, the more things I find it's handy for. So you can see here, I've got my double-sided Wonder Tape stuck onto the seam allowance that's trimmed, and I've already stuck it in place here. So I can use the edge of it, just run it along the actual seam, and see how nice and quick I can use that to push that down. Let's get these out of the way. Okay, so I can separate the seam allowances and press it down. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to use it for. I'm going to lay my Point Perfect on the collar like this, and I'm going to reach around and I'm going to flip my facing over the top. So I'm going to kind of use it like a paddle. So basically I'm just going to flip it over. And then I can get in there and I can create a very nice point very quickly. See how nice that is? And because of the width of the shape of this tool, it's less likely to poke a hole through the tip of your collar because the width of it will stop it from pushing through the point. So that's one of the reasons why I like the width. The cool thing is I can give this some steam with it in there. And then you can see on the side that the seam between the facing and the collar is right in the center. And you can also see that I didn't really push that point. Sometimes if you push your point too hard, it comes out actually too pointy and it looks like stretched out of shape. Because of the width of the tool, I think it helps prevent that. Then I can give it some steam on the outside, and I can use it as a clapper to really give it a nice crisp finish. See how nice that is? And so instead of scorching my fabric, I've turned my point and I've trapped the heat. Look how nice that seam allowance is right along the center. I mean, it's centered right between the facing and the collar. It works really, really nicely. Now, obviously, if it does a nice job on a collar like this, it's also going to do a nice job on any other points. When I was working on my how to make a non-stretch pattern into stretch fabric, I was making these shirts. This is my pattern I used. And you can see here, look at this beautiful point I have. Okay, and I was in a hurry, like I wanted to get these things done. So I was really able to just get in there with this tool and turn it and then use the edge to press like I did on the collar to get my facing and my, the inside and the outside of this to lay nice and flat. So you can use it to insert into your fabric, steam the seam, and get it to, so it's not rolling front or back. Also, you can use it to, trap the heat and use it as a mini clapper in these tight areas and turn the points. All right, so that's how you can get perfect points with the Point Perfect point turner pressing tool. I have a feeling the more I use it in my studio, the more things I'm going to discover I can do with it because I have it by my side at all times. So as I come up with more ways to use it, I'll do mini little video update tutorials to show you. I think that you will love this tool. All right, so I know you want to get one, so I'm going to put a link to my store in the description as well, so you can click on that and order your Point Perfect point turner. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them below, or you can visit my blog at Stern Designs. And I'm sure I will see you again very soon. I hope you guys have a great day.